Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world. Today we are diving into Acrivon Therapeutics' proxy statement. It's like their annual report card, but instead of grades, we're looking at votes and who gets to be on the board. Prepare for some boardroom drama, or at least as dramatic as boardroom meetings can get. This proxy statement is essentially a document where Acrivon, a company focused on developing medicines, asks its shareholders for their votes on important decisions. We're going to break down what these decisions are and what they mean for the company. There are two main things shareholders will be voting on. First, they'll be electing 3 people to serve as directors on Acrivon's board. Think of the board as the company's governing body, making the big decisions. Second, shareholders will be asked to give their stamp of approval on the company's choice of PricewaterhouseCoopers LLP or PBOC as their independent accounting firm for next year. This is like checking that the company's financial records are being handled by a trusted professional. If you want to read the really nitty-gritty details, you can find it online. The annual meeting is like a town hall for shareholders, but online. If you own stock in Acrivon, you can attend virtually and cast your vote on these proposals. For the directors to get elected, they just need to receive more full votes than anyone else running. For the accounting firm PUC to be approved, it needs a simple majority of votes cast, so more than half the votes have to say yes. If you're a shareholder and you return your proxy card without indicating how you want to vote, don't worry, your shares will still be voted. They'll be voted in line with what the company's board recommends. Let's talk about who Acrivon wants on its board. They are divided into 3 classes, each with a 3-year term. This year, the shareholders need to elect the Class 3 directors. The company has a list of criteria they look for in their directors. They want people with expertise, time to dedicate to the company, good judgment, and a commitment to representing the shareholders' interests. The people nominated to be on the board are Peter Bloom-Jensen, Derek DeRocco, and Santosh Palani. It is the first time that Santosh Palani is standing for election. Peter Bloom-Jensen has been with Acrivon since the beginning. He's the Chief Executive Officer, President, and Chairman of the board. He's got a ton of experience in cancer research and drug development. Derek DeRocco is a partner at an investment firm that focuses on healthcare companies. He also sits on the boards of several other companies. Santosh Palani has experience as an investor and analyst. Governance is important. Let's look at how they govern. Here's a snapshot of who is on the board and what committees they are part of. This table shows the age, the year they joined if they are independent, and what committees they are on. Acrivon's board has 3 main committees: the Audit Committee, which oversees the company's finances, the Compensation Committee, which decides how much executives get paid, and the Nominating and Corporate Governance Committee, which finds and recommends new board members. Most of the people on Acrivon's board are considered independent, meaning they don't have any close ties to the company's management. That's generally seen as a good thing because it helps ensure that the board is acting in the best interests of the shareholders. All the directors showed up to at least 75% of meetings. Showing up is half the job. Acrivon has a code of conduct that applies to everyone. Acrivon also has a code of business conduct and ethics, a code everyone has to follow to make sure people are ethical. If you have something to say to the board, you can write to them. The non-employee directors get paid in cash and stock options. This is designed to align their interests with the company's success, because if the company does well, their stock options become more valuable. Here is a table of compensation for the directors. The table lists the amount of fees earned or paid in cash, option awards, and all other compensation. Charles Baum earned $60,000 and an option award valued at $92,286 for a total of $152,286 for a total of $152,286. Santosh Palani earned $42,083, option awards of $116,997, and another compensation of $29,250 for a total of $188,330. The other compensation was for consulting work he did for the company. The shareholders need to approve the selection of PBOC as the independent auditor. Here's a look at what Acrivon paid PUC for its services. In 2024, Acrivon paid PBOC $813,200 for audit fees. In addition, they paid $2,125 for other fees. In 2000, they paid $2,125 for other fees. In 2025, $1,000 and other fees were $950. To avoid conflicts of interest, the audit committee has to pre-approve all the work that POC does for the company. These are the people who run the day-to-day operations of Acrivon. For Christina Masson's bio, see nominees and continuing directors. Eric Devereaux is the Chief Operating Officer. Here's how much the top executives get paid. Here's the 2024 summary of compensation, how much they made last year. Let's take a look at the numbers for Peter Bloom Jensen, the Chief Executive Officer. His salary was $655,131,760 and non-equity incentive plan compensation for $41,13, bringing the total to $2,319. Bringing the total to $2,312. Christina Masson's salary was $565,539. Option awards for $3,722,702. Non-equity incentive plan compensation for $258,935 for a total of $1,197,177 if you want $566. Eric Devereaux's salary was $5,110,467. Option awards of $372,702 and non-equity incentive plan compensation of $263,546,728, other than $46,726,728. This section explains how those numbers were determined. Executives get a base salary to compensate them for their services. They can also earn additional compensation based on how well the company and they themselves performed. Equity awards are meant to link executives' pay to the company's long-term performance. This table shows the options and stock awards that the executives have outstanding. These are awards that have been granted but haven't fully vested yet. The company has agreements with named executive officers about what happens if they leave the company or if there's a change in control. Long-term incentive awards are generally granted yearly. The following table provides information as of December 31, 2024 with respect to shares of common stock that may be issued under our existing equity compensation plans. Here's who owns the most stock in Acrivon. This is important because it shows who has the most influence over the company. Entities affiliated with RA Capital Management own 26.7% of the shares. Perceptive Life Sciences Master Fund owns 17.1% of the shares. These are transactions between the company and people who are closely connected to it, like directors or executive officers. These transactions have to be disclosed to make sure there are no conflicts of interest. The company has a policy to review and approve these kinds of transactions. Here are some specific transactions that fall under this category. In April 2024, Acrivon sold shares to several investors, including some who already owned a significant portion of the company. This is some other important information about the company. You can find more information about Acrivon on their website or in their annual report. If you're a shareholder and you have a proposal you want to put forward at next year's meeting, here's how to do it. So, what does all of this mean? Acrivon is asking its shareholders to make some important decisions about who will lead the company and who will audit its books. The shareholders have the power to shape the direction of the company. Overall, Acrivon seems to be moving in a promising direction. The company is focused on developing new medicines, and its executive leadership seems qualified and experienced. However, like any company, Acrivon faces risks. Drug development is a long and expensive process, and there's no guarantee that any particular drug will be successful. Additionally, the company could face challenges from competitors or changes in the regulatory environment. Based on the information in this proxy statement, Acrivon appears to be a company with potential, but it's important to be aware of the risks involved. It has been doing a lot of private placement and dilution. It's like they are keeping afloat with small investments. I hope this analysis was helpful. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more corporate deep dives. Let me know in the comments what company you'd like me to decode next.